Well, getting ready for A&M. Hits keep coming. So obviously they're very, very good. 15-4, 4-2 in the league. They play extremely hard. They very, very scrappy. Defensively, they're top 30 in the country. So they do a lot of really good things defensively. The whole key, one of the big keys is can we get our turnovers under control, because they're elite in transition offense, particularly converting live ball turnovers. So we need to get that as under control as we can. That's a huge point of emphasis for us. So they're extremely talented. They've got a really good mixture of guys who have been in the program a while, like Gordon and Quentin Jackson. They've got some really high-level transfers with Henry Coleman, who came from Duke, Marcus Williams, who was at Wyoming, Missouri, the Mountain West freshman of the year. And then they've got some really talented freshmen, with Obaseki, and they've got really good junior college with Cash, and Henderson's a transfer from Arkansas. So he's done a good job of putting his roster together, getting the pieces to really, really fit. And they play extremely hard, and it's going to be tough sledding all night on both ends of the court for us.
You kind of mentioned their depth, but offensively, basically 5 in double figures. But how would you describe their offense and what they do?
Well, the first part of their offense is they're tremendous in transition. We've got to be able to get back in transition. And then they do a great job of attacking the rim. They shoot a ton of shots at the rim. They shoot it well from three, but they don't take a ton of them. Obviously, probably take a few more against us just because of how we guard. But they do a tremendous job attacking the rim. They've got very, very good balance. The way he does, he has a bunch of guys. He can kind of try a bunch of guys out. Like Wade Taylor, he's probably their best freshman. He had 26 at Arkansas, and he came off the bench, and they were down 20-4, and he hit a 3, and then he gets going. I think he was 5 of 8 from 3 in that game. So he's just able to try out a bunch of different parts to find the 5 or 6 that work that night. Usually 3 or 4 of the 5 or 6 are guys, who were in that double-digit scoring range.
Can you update us on your player availability status?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. Days didn't practice yesterday. We'll see if he can. We haven't practiced yet today, so we'll see if he can do anything today. I would say he's 50-50. Benson did some workout stuff yesterday. He's going to try to do a little bit more today. I'd say if there's any chance he could play, it would be a very, very limited role. So we could very easily be down both of those guys.
Is Days managing a pain type situation?
Well, he hurt the outside of his ankle against Alabama, and then 33 fell on the inside of his ankle against Tennessee. So he kind of has it rolled both ways.
On a more positive note, I heard what you said about Gaines last night and how you have him kind of playing out of position right now, but in the future, how
not out of position, just we're asking him to do things that are not his strengths.
But that could be a positive going forward.
Yeah, it could be real positive going forward. He's going to be much better at what he does when we're back. If we can get back healthy.
In what ways?
Just he's got experience. There's no substitute for experience. There's no substitute for game experience. There's no substitute for playing down the stretch. There's no substitute for it's tough sometimes when you're learning on the job. You guys probably all had to do it. Like your first newscast, you probably look back and go, oh, your first column, you may look back and go, oh, that wasn't very good. But as you get more used to it, some of you may still say that. But as you get more used to it, it gets better. Everything gets better, and so that's just part of it. And I think he's gotten better. I can see, hadn't necessarily shown up on the court every time, but I can see there's real progress there, and I can see the progress, and I think it'll serve him well.
Coach, 2-part question here. First of all, in your past experience, when a team hits a rough patch, what do you have to do to kind of prevent it from snowballing? And then secondly, you mentioned turnovers earlier. Is that the number one thing that's, I guess, bothering you during this rough spot?
Well, the first thing you gotta do is simplify. You gotta scrap things back down to the basics and get really, really, back to your basics and lean on what the basics of your program are. And so we'll do that. The turnovers are bothersome, especially the transition turnovers. We're averaging 4.5 turnovers a game in transition. Those are the ones, I can deal with some of the half-court ones. Those are the ones that are killers, because those are ones on outnumbered breaks. Those are ones where we should be converting points. And not only are we not getting points, which points are hard to come by for us right now, not only are we not getting points, we're turning it over and giving the other team the ball back. And so we can't even get a shot on the basket. Those are the ones I'm more focused on than anything.
You mentioned some of the offensive changes you wanted to do after Saturday's game. How much of that is just shot, kind of relinquishing control on shot creating versus the shots that you're taking right now? Like, the shots that you guys are creating on offense, how much of that is just kind of whittling down?
What do you mean?
Just like how much of the offensive control is?
You don't have
just,
to dance around what you're asking. What are you asking?
Just-
Directly.
like
You're
shot
taking
creating.
bad shots?
Is it like shot creating? Like, is that kind of the offense, like the offensive flow, like shot creating? The kind of shots you guys are creating offensively? How much of that is, I guess, more in your control now?
I don't know if it's more of my, I don't know in the shot creation. I think we need to take shots that play to our strengths. And sometimes there's 2 or 3 areas I feel like we've got to hone in on the offensive stuff. But I said it last night. We're asking guys to do some things on offense. They're not capable of doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a challenge. And so we've got to reshape, and we changed some things this week. We had some time yesterday to get some things changed. We were able to change a few things. We've got to play to our strengths. Right now, we were built as a team to have a combination of athleticism and skill, and our skill's pretty much gone, and now we've got a bunch of athletes. And that's why we look like we look on offense. And so you need to have a combination of the two. And that's how we were built, and we don't have that right now. And so we're just kind of rolling out there with what we got. And we've got to play to our strengths a little bit more, whether it be with the shots or however it may be. We definitely need to play to our strengths more.
Will, last week when we talked, I asked you about the defense, and you said if it falters against Alabama, that doesn't mean that it failed you or anything, which it didn't, but that was the first loss this year where you held an opponent under 40 points, under 40% shooting, my bad. But when you have a performance
Well, our
like that,
defense can only hold up so long if your offense is this bad. That's just a fact. The dam can only hold so much water for the water to bust over, right? And so and to me, it's not that we're not scoring, it's that we're not getting enough shots on the basket. We're not out shooting people at the rate we need to with the percentages we shoot. If you don't make shots, that's fine, just go fetch it off the backboard. And so, we've got to help our defense out a little bit. Now, we played terribly defensively Saturday. That was our worst defensive game of the year at Tennessee. That was the first time all year we've given up 1 point of possession. We gave up right at 1 point of possession to Tennessee. That was the first time all year we've done that. And so, but our offense, we scored 50, a whopping 50. We really scored 45, and we had 3 in a layup in the last minute when nobody cared, right? Everybody turned the TV off by then. So, we've got to help our defense out a little bit more.
and just with the injuries and the losses and officiating controversy, just where does this last week rank as far as
Officiating controversy, what was that?
Well, it's a nice way of saying what you can't say. But with the way the last week has gone, where does this rank as far as difficulties you've had to coach through?
Oh, shoot, we'll be all right. It's not. I look at it as difficulty. I look at it as opportunity. We got opportunity to get better. We're going to be really good when we get everybody back and rolling. Hopefully, it's sooner rather than later. Before Benson went down, our best game of the year was that Tennessee game. We scored 79 points on the second best defense in the country to ours. Like, we were moving. and we're moving in the right direction. It's not like when we get these guys back, we're just automatically going to flip a switch and be right back where we were. You know, it's going to take some time to build back to where we need to be, but I look at this as a great opportunity for us to get better. And you know, I told you guys a couple weeks ago, like, we're built on a solid foundation. Like, we're fine. Nobody's panicking. Nobody's pointing fingers. Like, we're fine. Everybody's fine. Our program's fine. Our guys are good, and we're gonna dig our way out of it. You know, I told them yesterday, the best views come from the roughest climbs. It's just the way it is. So we've got to keep climbing. We're gonna keep falling down a little bit. We got to keep climbing, and we'll like where we're at the end.
You're in a little bit of a pinch, I guess. Could you kind of just elaborate how being limited on numbers or playing the numbers games limits you, how physical you can be? Obviously, Tennessee was very physical with you, but then also the extra effort required to go to the offensive glass and do what you were talking about doing.
Yeah, just like, that's what I was talking about with Gaines last night. I think you were listening. We appreciate you listening. You may have been the only one. You know, like, Gaines is built for speed. Well, he can't play at the speed that we need him to play at for 35 minutes. He can do that for 18 to 20 minutes, which is what we want him to do. When we're playing him an extended amount of time, you know, he's got to change speeds. It's a totally different ball game. Being a change of pace guard versus, it's like being a middle reliever versus a closer. Or starter. It's just very, very different, and they're all pitchers, just like they're all point guards, but they're very, very different in how they all go about it. It'd be like asking a middle reliever to start and go 9 innings. I mean, that's hard to do. That's not what they're trained to do. But you know, I think, like I said, I think he's getting better, and I think he's learning. I think he's learning more. But yeah, I wouldn't look at it as we're in a pinch. We just can't do exactly what we've been working on all the time, all year, and so we just need some time to flip it. Yesterday we had a little bit of time to flip some of our stuff philosophically until we can get everybody back. And, you know, there's only, you know, like I said, we got to simplify. There's only 2 or 3 things we can flip. There's about 20 things I'd like to change that would help tweak a lot of stuff for us. But we fixed 2 or 3 things, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us through the week, and then we'll see where we're at the end of the week, and we'll put some duct tape on the next holes that that open up at the end of the week.
Coach, last night you said that A&M likes to trap the ball screens. So
Yep.
Given the fact that you don't really have a traditional ball handler with Pinson, is that a concern for you?
Oh, yeah, big concern. They like to trap the ball screens with the 5-man. They trap the post. No, that's a big concern. It's something we're going to need to work on and work through, because when they trap, that leads to live ball turnovers, which leads to easy layups for them, and that's the last thing we need to be doing, is giving up easy baskets with the state of our offense right now.
Yeah, knowing that your offense specialist based off of turnovers and transition is what you like to do, put more shots on the team. How do you get your team to be quick but not hurry?
Well, that's a big adjustment we've had to make. I think that's part of our problem with the transition turnovers, is transitioning from helter-skelter on offense to having some poise on defense, to having some poise on offense. We don't play with the poise that we need to on offense. We don't play with the pace or precision that we need to. You don't need any of that stuff really defensively. You don't have to have great precision defensively. You just fly around, good things typically happen. You don't have to have great poise defensively. You can just be helter-skelter. But you've got to be able to transition from that to playing with some poise, playing with some pace, and playing with some precision. And we've struggled. X is very good at that, but we've struggled with some of the other aspects of that.
Assuming Pinson and Days can't start, what do you think your lineup's going to start look like tomorrow?
Hell, I don't know.
Well, what about Easton?
What?
Easton.
Well, of course he would start. I mean, who else would I start?
I don't know.
You got any other ideas that I don't know of? I mean, I don't know who else we would start. No, but yeah, of course he would.
Days seems so much. Were you surprised that Days was able to play last game? And could you be surprised tomorrow?
Yes, I was surprised he was able to play against Tennessee. I was even more surprised he came back in after he hurt his ankle. Could he play tomorrow? Yes, I would suppose. I mean, I haven't said no on either of them. I think it's unbelievably likely? No. We didn't practice yesterday. I just left him. He's in. Ken just saw him. He's sitting in the training room right now. I mean, he was in here 7:45 this morning. We were in there. I was in there talking. I mean, he's going to try. He's going to try. But I mean, look, we gotta. Whoever we got, we just got to play. I mean, we can't worry about that. Everybody's got injuries. Everybody's got issues. We've probably had a few more than we've had, in a while. But whatever we got to get ready to go. That's the philosophy I've got. I'm not going to worry about. I can't worry about who we don't have available. I got to coach the guys we got available and get them to play to their strengths and play to our strengths as a group with the group we got and try to win a game.
Coach, with the team in the whole like they are, and the players' ability to make strengths out of weaknesses, how will this provide a spark for LSU that they've been needing in the postseason?
Well, we'll see. I mean, we've got to continue to get better. Got to continue to plug our gaps, and plug our holes, and fill our holes, and do a better job. If we do that, I think we'll be a stronger team coming out of all this.
The last 3 games, rebounding wise, have been some of y'all lowest totals of the season. I guess how do you get better effort from you guys on the glass?
I thought we did a nice job rebounding at Tennessee. I mean, it's hard to block them out. They're very physical. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult to block them out. I thought we did a horrible job at Alabama. I thought we did a very poor job against Arkansas. But I did think we made some strides against Tennessee. We weren't anywhere near where we needed to be. But I thought we made some progress in the Tennessee game. We've got to continue to make that progress rebounding wise.
Thank you.